social events and holidays and how to manage them. So, we need to look at how can we manage social events and holidays as much as possible so we can limit the damage, but still have fun at the same time and make progress. That is the key part of this slideshow to help you understand the decisions that I make and why we need to be mindful and so on. So the first bit is understanding the goal we've set out to achieve. So it's all about mental clarity, enjoying the social events, but overall making mindful decisions to still stay on track and make progress. So, if we've set out to lose 2 stone, but you're going out every weekend, then that's where the problems start to really occur. But if you want to achieve an elite level physique and end up with a photo shoot, but you have 4 holidays, 3 festivals, and 12 nights out planned, you need to understand the harsh reality of what would needed to be pulled off to achieve that result. So same again, like I just mentioned, that we need to be very mindful. If you've set out to achieve a very, very specific goal, then your actions need to align with that. Look, everyone is different in terms of commitment, state of mind, stress, resilience, and social interaction needs. So I'm not saying don't go out, but it's how we manage that. So, Eddie, I've got an event coming up. Just to let you know, I will be drinking and eating a fair amount. And then I'll say, right, this is the plan this week to mitigate it and really limit the damage going forward. But overall, mental well-being is king, so we have to manage that accordingly. But most times we have to sacrifice a number of things if we want to make progress and achieve a certain goal and physique we set out right from the start. So I'm not saying don't go out. I'm not saying don't have fun with your mates, but we need to talk to each other and go, right, from the get-go, what do we want to achieve? I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Sacrificing and balancing the scale just right. If you sacrifice too much in terms of not going out with friends, family, and going to social events, it'll become unsustainable. So you need to find that right balance of going out, but still making progress, at the same time. So it's my job to be honest and transparent and guide you the best way possible. If you're doing too many social events and still wanting to reach your goal, the likelihood is it's unsustainable and you won't reach your end goal that we set out. As long as you're aware of this, and same again, it's like the tough love approach. I will tell you and say, look, you wanted to lose 2.5 stone. At the moment, you've only lost, for example, 2 kilos. We are falling behind. Maybe knock on the head, the social events, etc. But we take it as it comes. As long as we're getting the results and the scales are balanced right, then it's not a problem. Some people can go out Friday, Saturday and feel fine Monday and still get the results. Everybody's different. So this is where the tailoring comes in to make sure that this plan will work for you. But if you're going out Friday, Saturday and you still want to make those results, you better make sure that you're putting in the effort and really pulling your weight for it. So pre and post events. This is where I'm going to talk about how I can come in and make your life easier. So I'll make the plan leading up to and post events. So that could be your holiday, your wedding, a weekend away, whatever it may be. I may need to make adjustments pre and post event to make sure you're still reaching your goals. So that could be calories, it could be cardio, it could be the workouts that you're doing, your diet, your nutrition, and so on. The constant feedback between me and you is what delivers the key to success in the transformation. So, for example, if I need to negate any unplanned instances, e.g., you went out and had too many gin and tonics, which led to 3,000 calorie pizza and a 3-day hangover. This is the worst case scenario, by the way. And this is just to make sure you stay on track. So if I find out that you've done that, or you tell me and be transparent, that Monday coming, I'll say, right, we need to, make these adjustments for what's happened over the weekend. We both give the nod on the head and we get on with it. As simple as that. Things to take into account for events. You want to mitigate as much as possible and prepare well. So if you're going to a wedding this weekend, for example, right, how much will you drink? How much are you going to eat? And how much movement will you be getting in at this point? So 3 things that we need to look at. And then, we need to very much focus on the small details, and that is where I will make the changes. What I want to do is make sure you're not stressed going into this event. You understand the changes and adaptations, and we manage it as best as we can. So, look, nothing's going to be ever perfect. We might say to ourselves, look, I'm not drinking at this event, and then we do, but then that's when we make the changes after. So just as long as you're aware. And outlining the plan will ensure you enjoy the event that little bit more. So if you went to the event with no plan, no structure, you'd cheat yourself. You'd think, fuck, I've wasted all the gains that I've done. But if we work together collaboratively, then it won't be a problem at this stage for the events. How to approach a special event. So if you're eating out, look at the menu beforehand and make a rough choice. So if you're going out somewhere, right, I know that, I need to aim for high protein meals. So look at the menu, make a choice so you have a rough idea before you go there. So aim for meals that are high in protein, low carb options, and likely to digest well, or as best as possible. The rule of 3, pretty interesting one. So, you have 3 options basically when you go eat out. You've got 1, to drink alcohol, 2, a heavy carb meal, or 3, a dessert. You can only pick one of those 3 options. This means you're having a little bit of a treat, but you're still limiting the damage. So, for example, if you like dessert, do not have alcohol and don't have a heavy carb meal. So you get the dessert, you're still having fun, but you've gone out and you've seen friends. Vice versa. If you like a drink of alcohol, go for a low carb, high protein meal and no dessert. So you get the alcohol, but you don't have the other 2 options. Very good way of looking at it, having fun, but limiting the damage. So bank calories the week before to limit the damage from this event. So, this is one that we can really make a good impact. So we can bank 1,000 calories. So 200 calories each day. You've banked 1,000 calories. You can have that meal. You can go hell for leather. Make sure it's roughly 1,000 calories, but you've banked it. So that's a good one. Have a mindful approach and cut back on the old way you used to eat out. So just being mindful. So instead of ordering 2 sides of chips, having steak and then having a starter and a dessert, just be mindful and go, right, I'll have starter and main, no dessert. These little choices that you make and habits that you change will go a long way. So big one, don't eat until you can't breathe. I always say finish your meal knowing that you could eat more, but you've left roughly a good 1/4 of space left in your stomach. So, we all know that feeling when you've walked out of a restaurant and you feel disgusting. So same again, different approach. Don't walk out that restaurant feeling disgusting. Feel like you're sufficiently full, but you could have eaten way more. So that's the best way to go about it. And then the last one, it's a little one. Can you go to the gym beforehand? So getting a good pump before an event is always a top tier feeling, and you feel less guilty for the event, but you feel like you've actually earned and worked for it. So that's just a little one that I do. I feel better, headspace wise doing that. So I think this is quite an interesting one. So how to approach a holiday. So there's a question to ask. Is it a total holiday, or are you having the full holiday to eat what you want, drink what you want, and take it as a break? So the 2 options, do you stay on track or do you stay regimented and committed? So are you continuing that disciplined and regimented routine? So getting your steps in, overall movement, training, controlling the diet side of things. We obviously will confirm this before you go on holiday, but there's no pressure from my side. You decide what you want to do with that, basically. And then the next one, alcohol. So the choice would be Spirits, as they carry less calories. Beer and wine are almost double the calories, so keep that in mind. Same again, different choices. So, you can have, for 10 beers, you can have roughly 20 drinks if it's gin and tonic, slimline tonic. That's just an example. They carry half the calories to what a beer does. So just to keep that in mind. So food-wise, it's all about having the same mindful approach as you do over here. So when you're in the UK, you're looking at low-calorie, high-protein meals, spacing the meals out and making sure that they are somewhat easy to digest, and the foods that you will be selecting, basically. Be aware that food abroad will digest totally different. You probably know this already. So it's going to be cooked in different, sauces, marinade. The pan that it's going to be cooked in, it is totally different. So you will have to adopt a new kind of regime, and just get used to your stomach for a little bit, because you might be bloated. Digestion might be a little bit of an issue, but as long as you take it with a pinch of salt, you should be good. So the gym and overall movement. Is there a gym at the hotel? Early morning sessions, can you get them in? I would do this just so you can enjoy the day ahead of you and not worry about it in the evening. Once you get up, get to the gym, you feel better. Your day's going to be great. But whatever works best for you. I am not saying, look, get to the gym, you must do it. Remember, is it a total holiday, or are we staying regimented and sticking to our routine as well? So the equipment that you have to hand sometimes is not as good as the gyms that we have here, but your movement, your steps, being mindful, and whatever equipment you've got, you just do as much as you can with that. I won't set out workouts for you whilst you go on holiday. That's just something that isn't within the program, but I will help you if needed. So the last point is steps. Are we going to get them as high as possible? That is always going to help you when you come back to limit the damage again. So it's always about, being mindful. So we want to burn as many calories as possible whilst we're on the holiday, and steps in the sunshine is always a good thing. So you're getting plenty of vitamin D and you're keeping your movement up. So things to consider after an event and holiday. So it is simple, and I will guide you through it as much as possible. So it will take time for your body to adjust after a full holiday. So less active movement, different foods you've been eating, the time zone difference, jet lag. Your body is going to need time to adjust. Again, it can take up to a week. So things that you wouldn't normally think, oh shit, well, why have I added so much weight? Well, I'll let you know that, the weight that you've gained isn't always body fat. It's because of poor sleep. It's because of slow bowel movements, the stress, carbohydrates that you might have eaten. You can see your weight fluctuate and cause the scales to increase this way. It could be water retention. There's so many options and things that cause it. And not to mention, when you fly at high altitude, you will have noticed your body swells and water retention increases. Like I said, the food that you've eaten is cooked differently, and you could add a couple of kilos, but don't be shocked by this at all. So I hope this slide shows, giving you like a little bit of an indication on how to manage holidays, events, and so on. Don't worry about a single thing. We will talk about it and go for every little bit of the steps that I've just mentioned.